Welcome to Beyond Sundays, a podcast from two friends trying to follow Jesus more closely. Odds are you won't always agree with us and we'll stumble along the way, but we promise to be open and honest all the way through. I'm Hannah, here with Matt. We have a website you can use to keep our show links and our socials all together. Check out beyondsundays.pod.com. We're grateful for every listener, and we genuinely thank you for fitting us in your busy life. We're grateful for all of our listeners, and we genuinely thank you for fitting us into your busy life. Thank you for our day ones that started with us a year ago, and thank you for the new people. We do have a lot of episodes you can go back and listen to. You can help us grow this community by following, rating, and reviewing us on Apple and Spotify. We have the best community out there.
Woo, happy 2026 to everybody out there. Hannah, do you think it's going to be a good year? Or, people post like, this is my year in 2026 or something like that. And usually there ends up being like every other year. There's like a mix of good things that happen and bad things that happen. But do you have that feeling?
Yeah.
Is this your year? Is this
No,
it?
I love New Year's, and I am
Me too.
overly optimistic sometimes. So I think every year is going to be the best year ever. And I feel like every year has, it has good and bad, and they all come together to make something good. But I'm not like the posting, like making moves in silence. This is my year. That stuff, it cracks me up. That is a social media grab, not from the people, but I think from the industry. They post all these things.
My
year,
Yeah.
So I'm excited for it.
Yeah, me too. I think so. This is the year I turned 40, so I'm not creeping up on
Oh my
anybody
gosh.
besides like hip pain and stuff.
No, 40. There's a very
Don't tell me 40 is the new 25,
40 is the new 30.
Okay.
That is true. There's a
I
very
feel fine.
famous.
I was at the gym this morning, not going to be able to walk later today, so it's fine.
Look at you going to the gym today, even when you're off work.
Oh, yeah.
Our gym's been closed this week, except for Monday and Tuesday. So I've been lazy bonesing it up.
Well, that's always wonderful, too. After we do this today, I have nothing else on the schedule, so.
Exactly how it should be.
Yeah.
It's a Saturday. We're recording on a Saturday, which is totally different for us.
It is. Yeah.
Okay. So Christmas is over.
Mm-hmm.
One question I need to ask. Are you the type of people, have you taken down all your Christmas? Has Michelle taken down all the Christmas decorations?
Well, Michelle got a little corner shelf that we need to put up in. I built it, but it needs to go where one of our two Christmas trees is.
Okay.
So I just jokingly on the 26th, I was like, hey, I think probably time to get that Christmas tree down so we can get the shelf up. She just looked at me and said, don't touch it. So it'll probably, here's what we'll do. We'll take it all down before we go back to school, but no, it's still up.
Okay. That makes me happy. We keep
ours
up as long as we can. We have our tree up. It's a real tree though, so we have to take it down before we leave for vacation.
Okay.
But I'll keep everything else up, which means I'll just have to do it when we come back and we're back at work, which is fine. I'm okay. I honestly am okay leaving it up through part of January because I love it.
Well, there is like this maximizing thing. Like you take all this time to put it up, and for the people who just do December only, it's like 3 weeks and it's back down again.
Yeah. So funny over Christmas break. In fact, on Christmas, you and I were texting each other.
Mm-hmm.
It was funny that you sent me a video of me with your younger brother. Was that a 5-year-old birthday party?
It was a 5-year-old birthday party.
Jeez.
And people are like, oh, that's Hannah. Yeah, I was like, yeah, there's the crooked lip. I see it.
That's exactly what was happening at my house. So we watched videos Thursday with New Year's Eve or Christmas Eve with my mom. And of course, the only video we could get to work was when I was first born. So like I was the first child. So people were obsessed. And then I just had this massive crooked lip. Like it was a whole thing. My siblings
from day one, baby.
From day one. And then on Christmas, we went through like photo albums that had my cousin Christmas Eve night. We went through photo albums that had my cousins in them because they were over. And while we were looking through those, I then found photos of you from a play that I forgot that we even did. I didn't remember that you played Jesus in that play.
Look at our intertwined lives. Just look at us go.
It's insane. It's been years and years and years.
Years.
It's just crazy. I don't know if you feel this way or not. I think my family was getting annoyed, and I'm sure you don't feel this way actually. But I have like emotional ties and memories tied and linked to outfits that I wore. And do you have any of that?
No, I don't know if it's as specific as outfits, but we were also looking at some videos and just like some of the locations we were in that I had not been in. Like there's some grade school stuff at the grade school we went to, and I haven't been to that place in 25 years. You know what I mean? I just haven't been there. So that was like a whole nostalgia wave that hit me for sure.
Yeah, I mean,
but no, yours is clothes.
Oh my gosh, everything. Like I would look at an outfit and I could remember exactly what I felt in the outfit. I mean, I was like, oh my gosh, I felt like a
Oh, I'm
supermodel in
dying.
the outfit. I was feeling that like
Yeah,
it was crazy. So then we ended up on a deep dive. We just told all these crazy stories, and Liam
sure.
laughs and laughs because the amount of like ridiculous trauma that you just have to laugh about. I mean, it's not, it's just goofy
Not
stuff that
actually
comes from
traumatic.
an,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
yeah, it just comes
Dumb
from a
stories.
family
Yeah, yeah.
that you're like, oh my gosh, what is happening here? And then we went in a deep dive into Danny's Facebook page, and you know,
Oh,
so
wow.
that's been like, he died 12 years ago. I think
Hmm.
it's been 12, 13 years ago. But then you're looking at stuff that's 5 years behind that, and you forget what people post or posted on the internet. Danny feeling super sleepy. Danny, my brother is a fat cow, or like like things that are not okay to post today.
No, yeah, 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 yeah.
That's the
Well,
hilarious thing.
the internet's moved along. I feel like that you just see less of that. This is what I'm feeling. This is what I'm doing. Like, just walk down the steps. Less of that and more like there's more media. There's way more pictures, videos, and I just think that's a marker of what the internet is capable of.
Yeah,
But man, oh man, getting out those family videos of my mom did an incredible job. She had like 35 VHS tapes. She bought this little machine and it digitized them all. And so she gave us all flash drives with like just hours and hours and hours and hours and
that's
hours worth
incredible.
of stuff. Yeah, so that's good because that will update the media and keep it. And now, I mean, my TV, I can just plug it in on the back and we can get it fired up whenever we want to. So my kids were seeing me as like a 2 year old toddle around and they were just making fun of me. So it's just all the vibes. They were good.
I will say this: there was a video. Was when I would have been first born, and my parents were in a play that our parents were in together.
Yeah. Yep.
Your mom, I don't know if she ever ages. I mean,
No, it's ridiculous.
she is just as beautiful now as she was 30 years ago. Like she has not aged, but I think I think Madeline looks a lot like her.
Yep. Yep. I
Like a
think so too.
lot, yeah,
The
30
more
years
she
younger.
gets older, yeah, there's a
Yeah,
lot of that.
yeah.
Whatever side of the gene pool my mom's genes are on, I hope that's the ones that control how long I live because I mean her grandma was like 102 when she died. Her mom was
What?
mowing in her 80s and yeah, it's just I don't know about that side of the gene pool. It's pretty good.
Well, your mom has that. She does like to mow the yard. She's active, and
She's still, yeah, yeah.
I couldn't believe it. I was like, oh my gosh, she looks like she's young, young.
And
And
so
it was
Gail, shouts to Gail. She's listening, no doubt.
shouts to Gail, shouts to Gail. So, this being our first episode of the year,
Yeah.
I think it's really important, which I almost choked on my own spit there too. Also, if you guys all, that was embarrassing.
Some things in the year haven't changed in podcasting, you know?
No, not at all. Not at all. But so I think it's important to personally to set New Year's resolutions or goals or just kind of a trajectory of where you want to be by the end of the year. And it's
Mhm.
just natural because we have a year beginning and a year end. It's just natural to start it now. I am all for setting goals in February and setting
Sure.
goals in November, and a firm believer that if you want to set a goal in August, it's going to feel really good come January, and you've
Yes.
already started something you can continue.
Yes, agreed.
But last year we started with this. And so I think it's important that we look back on our goals and see if we met any of those, if we changed anything. So I'm just going to read a few of mine. And I have to say, I did go back and listen to that portion of,
The first one? Yeah.
yeah, in that 1.5 speed, which still kind of throws me off a
No, no,
little.
no. That's where the pros do it.
It really is. So a couple of mine that I had was learn more about what we put in our bodies and adapt
Mm,
accordingly. So I feel like I've done that. I feel like I've learned it, but I haven't made huge changes. Maybe that
okay.
1% change, like atomic
Did you need to
habits.
make huge changes? Were you eating a lot of stuff that had and you're talking about the
The
like
red
red
dyes and
40 and the zinc bicruminous, all the junk, just the stuff that we don't know.
I don't think I had to make major changes. I really think the biggest thing is being aware. Like at school, I would have, and I still do eat some M&Ms, but I would have Skittles at school and I may just take a few. Where now I'm like way less prone to do that, not
Mm,
because one or two is bad, but I'm just thinking about what I'm putting in my body. I
sure. Yeah.
really have cut back on eating ice cream, which I think has helped tremendously.
Oh,
Um yeah, I heard that. Yeah. It's been good.
that's
It's
sad.
been
That's
good.
sad.
I know. I am proud of myself. I feel like I'm actively trying to separate myself from this guilt. Uh, and
Mm-hmm.
shame that I live in. That's an ongoing process and will forever be a process for me. So I'm still working on that, but I would say I've accomplished that. 2 to 3 crock pot meals. Nope, never did that.
Nope, didn't do it.
Didn't one time come up
Mo's
with a
Monday.
new. Moe's Monday kills me. We can eat for $3 a piece at Moe's Monday. So
Yeah,
Moe's, shout out to Moe's. Don't ever change. If you need to go to Moe's or you need a good meal, go to Moe's. Um, Putting myself out there was one of the big ones, which we've done now. Is this 52 or 53
this will
episodes?
be our 52nd episode. Yeah.
That's insane. So I would say right there, check that off. Quit wearing my frustration on my sleeve was at work. That is just forever an ongoing thing for me. I'm aware of it, and so I'm hoping to continue working on it. But that's
That
forever
wasn't
a
just at
thing.
work. I saw that at church too sometimes. Like, well,
I well
Hannah's
now
not feeling it right now.
I've labeled it. I've labeled it. I just come in like a lion when I need to be the lamb, and I just have to work on it. It's like it overtakes me. I just can't shake it, and it's not. I, I, yeah, it's not a good
It's just
thing.
you.
I'm
I love
working.
a New Year's resolution too, but it does not mean just because you make a resolution at the beginning of a calendar year, your habits, your character traits, they don't care about what's time it is on the calendar. So
No,
it's awesome to have like a yearly goal, but sometimes you have to carry it over. I'm gonna carry one of mine over too.
well, and I think we think because we set our minds to it, it's just easy and we'll do it. But when the
Hmm.
rubber meets the road, that it is hard when you feel that heavy emotion. And I come in like a lion, pulling myself down from that is hard, 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 hard. And so I think things are ongoing.
Agreed. Well, I had two major ones. I
Okay,
had some minor ones too.
sure.
I had like a handwriting thing that
Yeah,
I
yeah.
did really well for a couple months, and then I just kind of quit. And so I'm just looking at my notes right now, and sometimes it looks like Greek and Latin fused together. So that one probably needs to get picked back up. But the two major ones I talked about in the podcast a year ago were I need to do much better at praying out loud.
Mm-hmm.
And this is not to say that you can't pray silently. I think you can. I think people do that all the time. I think that's totally fine. That was just something that I tend to struggle sometimes when I pray silently, and I'm sure a lot of people do out there. But you just kind of get lost in the sauce a little bit. You have
Yeah,
this thought come zoom in from the side, and so I would say I made gains there. That is not something that I have totally conquered. And so that is something I'm going to carry forward into this year. I need to continue to work on that. And some of that probably comes with the time that I choose to pray. I do it basically first thing in the morning as soon as I get up. And I'm not always like I'm a morning person, but I'm not always ready for that level of,
sure.
auditory interaction. So I need to continue on that. And then my other big one that I think I just failed miserably on this is I wanted to make time mean less to me. I just always have been like one eye on the clock. What's going on? What do I need to get done? What do I need to do next? How can I free up some free time for myself? And so it's just like this constant ticking in my head all the time of efficiency and all that good kind of stuff. I just wanted to take a step back from that. I don't want to lose all of that,
Sure,
but I wanted to
sure.
take a step back from that, and I don't think I don't think I did it all. I think that is just really deeply ingrained in me, and I hope for you, or I hope for the people in my life, I hope that's not something that like is detrimental to my existence around people, but it is just a constant thing inside me.
And I wish I could merge that with my inability to understand time because
Yeah,
I just, yeah, I mean, that aspect, that part of you is so good, but it's so funny how we can all have these good qualities and we all want a piece of them, but it can always go too far one way or the other. It's like, why
right.
can't we just be even? I feel that way in my life. Why can't I just have ride the line instead of go to one extreme or the other? I feel it.
Well, we've always got our little neurotic corners that we retreat to. Every single person does. And I think it's worth, if you're going to make New Year's resolutions, I think some of them should be hard,
Mm-hmm.
and some of them should be the deepest stuff that you deal with. And not that making time less important is some kind of huge trauma thing for me. It's not at all. But
Sure.
it is something I've identified in myself, and it's going to be really, really hard. And I'm just going to have to keep working at it.
So I was talking to my mom a couple days before Christmas, and we were talking about some of these ongoing things just in our lives
Yeah.
and finding change. We were talking about a specific project that she participates in and helps with at church. And we talked about the idea of, and you and I have too, how I feel like and this may change for me by the end of the year,
Mm,
but I feel like living for God is not supposed to ever get comfortable. You can get to a point where you are. I think there are hills and valleys,
mhm,
but I
mhm.
think we should never get to a point where it's comfortable. And so with that, I start to think some of those resolutions and things that we set, they are going to be a constant for us. We don't. I think I always had this idea that I would just overcome some things, like as silly as it is, and I know people listening are like, especially people that have good time management, are gonna be like, you just do it. But that's always going to be something for me. And it doesn't mean
Mhm.
that I can't put the right things into place to correct it or to help it, but it will always be something I have to have buffers in place to make sure I
Yes.
improve it. And I think for a long time I thought, oh, I'll just master it. I'll do this year and I'll have a
Mhm.
resolution and I'll get better. And no, it is going to be like pulling teeth every. I have to tell myself, if I have 15 minutes to get there, I have to tell myself I have to leave 30 minutes early. If I do not, I will be late. I don't know what happens. It just happens like that. Do
Mhm.
you do you feel that way where it's like constantly we have to work towards some of the same things, or can we
I mean,
totally change ourselves?
I think you can change, but I think, like you said, when you're talking about these like base level character traits, I'm so sorry to do this to everyone, but my mind just goes to video games. Like you'll have these character creators, and
Yeah.
you'll get these little points you can spend on certain attributes for your character. And really, our life is kind of like that. There are attributes I have and attributes you have. And if you want to like blunt or dull some of those things, that attribute is never going to go away. You're probably always going to struggle with time management. But the I think what you can do with it and what I need to do with my stuff is you take it from a struggle, you leave what's good. What's good about
Yeah.
you is you can linger in some things, and I can shut things down too quickly sometimes, and you can linger in some things and feel or go to some different places with some things. I think you try to leave the good and sort of tighten up the bad, but I think the fact that it is always going to be an ongoing battle. One, you have to realize that, and two, you kind of have to make peace with it.
You
It's
do, because
never
it's
going to
kind
be
of
solved.
exhausting.
It's
It's
never going to
kind of
be
exhausting.
completely done, and it can be exhausting. So that's a real fine line. You can't get yourself overwhelmed with it, but you still have to push. It's
Yeah.
just one of those weird things.
Okay. And so going into the 30s and you're now going into the 40s.
Yeah.
I don't I don't know if this is an age thing or just where I am in my life, but I feel like there are a lot of things this past year I was made more aware of, uh, that changed quietly, that
Mm.
mattered more for me.
Okay.
For example, I feel that I was more aware of quieting the external noise. Doesn't mean I perfected that, but I recognized more the importance of looking inward as opposed to, um, sometimes I look outward for not not technically approval, but I guess it would be like I
Mhm.
I am constantly in conversation, like to the point of exhaustion, looking to see how people respond and where I need to take the next step. Are people comfortable? Are they uncomfortable? And I feel like I'm trying to step away from that and follow what I feel inside, not
Mhm.
only for
Mhm.
myself, but for the spirit. And
Mhm.
so I feel like quieting some of that external noise has been good. I also have really tried to change language from I have to do this to I get to do this.
Okay.
And that's difficult, but I feel like that has changed what I do immensely. I don't feel like I constantly, like sometimes when I'm not at the house, I feel anxious, like, oh my
Mm.
gosh, I got to get back home. And I don't know why. That's more recent that that's happened to me, but I'm trying to change that narrative up to, oh, I get to go spend time and do this. Oh, I get to go to the store and buy food, although I hate going to the grocery store. Um, I also have been, I feel like I've been examining the amount of conversations that circle around the same thing before just addressing it. My
Mm.
honey kind of pulled that out and called that out, how we need to really live out the word. And instead of, I get so embarrassed about this, but we all talk about people at times.
Mhm.
And I think I would circle around these same ideas and these same things that bothered me and never address it. So either address it or let it go.
Yeah.
And I feel like finally someone has called me out and said, "Yeah, this is not whatever you've got going on here. That's not biblical. We can't do that anymore." So those are the quiet things to me that have been happening internally that I feel like have mattered the most.
Okay. I just have one that is way above and beyond all the other ones.
Yeah.
And it is like I have finally developed what I feel like is a systematic approach to the Bible.
Yeah.
There are tools and many of it, a lot of it is just because it's played out in this podcast and thinking about things for this and what you and I are going to talk about. And it's finally given me some, I don't want to say like rules, but they're like parameters for me to go check. I check this. I look here. This is what I do. And I have like 7 or 8 things now that I feel like can help me bring stuff out of the Bible for myself and for other people in a way that I've been like teaching and doing stuff in church for a long time, but I finally feel like I'm reaching that maturity stage where I really, now if I really feel like I know what I'm doing, and I'm not always going to knock it out of the park every time, but I really feel good about my approach to the way that I look into the Bible for things. And so that hasn't just changed my public stuff, that's changed my private stuff. The way I'm
That's
reading my Bible for myself through the year, I'm I'm applying some of those same tools I use publicly to my own stuff. And so that's just really helped deepen my appreciation for the Bible. So
yeah.
as far as that goes, that's far and away the most important quiet thing that happened. That wasn't a resolution. That just kind of
No.
happened as life
Yeah.
lived over the years. And sometimes that will happen too. It won't be a resolution. It'll be something that crops up out of nowhere.
That's the real stuff. And
Yeah.
I don't mean to toot your horn here, but you are the best teacher that I've heard um, explain the word and present it in a way where um, people aren't only hearing it and you're not just presenting it, but people are digging into the word with you. And so
Mm.
while you're teaching what the word is saying, people are learning how to dissect the word on their own. And I think that is, I would say that is very much biblical. Now, I don't believe that's how they always taught in the word
Mhm.
back in Bible times, but I do believe that's a large way that the apostles taught. And I think it has been extremely helpful in the growth of our church. So thank you for doing that because
Mhm.
it has affected me and it's affected many others in the
Well, I
church.
appreciate that. And one thing I know since doing this in this past year or so is I will have the tendency now to put things on autopilot and just go check my 7 or 8 parameters. And I don't want to do that either. I want to use those things. I want to use those tools, but I need to keep, I need to keep finding things. I need to keep being creative and growing in that. So I don't want to get stale in that either.
Yeah. Have you ever thought about taking those parameters and putting it on like a one sheet worksheet where
Hmm.
people could use that to work through
Nope,
portions of the
I never
Bible?
have, but I think that's possible. I mean, I think you could like present it as like a toolkit or something. And
Yeah.
I've kind of done it within stuff that I've taught sort of informally, but formalizing that's an interesting idea. Yeah.
I okay, so talking church talk, I really think that would be really good. I
Okay.
feel like I just turned off podcast voice for a second, guys. I promise I don't really have one. No, I really think that would be really beneficial for
Okay.
us to have something that, and
This is
obviously
what I
go beyond
do.
our church.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that would be excellent.
Okay.
So people go back and forth with resolutions, how they feel about them. Why?
Hmm.
Let me ask you first and foremost. I
Hmm.
need your honest, open answer. How do you truly feel about resolutions, New Year's resolutions?
Well, like you, I love them. And
Okay.
I wish that this were a topic on the podcast that like I was out and you were in or the opposite. And so you could kind of see that contrast and that growth. So I was trying to think of for a person who's out or think they're dumb because there's a lot of people that are like, eh,
Yeah.
that whole kind of thing. I think some of it is just the contrived nature of the fact that December 31st to January 1st is like every other day that ever happens in the history of our lives. It's just this thing we do on the calendar. But B, I think, and this is not at all to talk down to anybody, but I don't think anybody likes accountability. That's not our
Oh my
favorite
gosh,
thing.
Liam and I talked about that yesterday. Yeah.
And so for us to make these resolutions, these are essentially an accountability list for ourselves for the year. The very nature of them is here's this thing, I want to change it and make it better, which makes you deal with the fact that you don't like or you're not good at something. And nobody likes that, right? So as far as that goes, this could just be a hard topic to approach in general because we don't like that about ourselves.
No, we don't. And again, I think one of the reasons that we set resolutions and they never last is because you do have to deal with things head on. And I do think we get defensive of ourselves. Well,
Oh,
I
sure.
do. Maybe other people don't, but I 100% get very defensive when people bring up something that I need to correct. Again, I really do like at work, like if you come in and observe my room, I want you to tell me what I've done wrong. But I will tell you, I am like a little kid in the corner before you tell me what I should do different. I mean, I guess maybe
Really?
everyone's that way. Yes.
Well, here's the difference to me though. I think, and this is not trying to toot your horn, but I
Mhm.
think you think you're a good teacher.
I
So
do. Yeah.
it's easier to take like criticism or constructive feedback when you think you're good at something. It is way, way worse for you to be like, my time management is really bad. And that is a completely different ballgame, right? I feel so much better standing up in front of people teaching about the Bible than I do using a screwdriver to try to fix something. And I am going to be way more defensive. Michelle and I, some of the fights we've had is I've tried to fix something and she kind of like points out things that I didn't fix about it. And because that is an inherent weakness of mine, I get defensive about it. And she's like, sheesh, you know what I mean? But if she came home after I taught and said, hey, you should try this, this, and this, I would just be like, oh, interesting. I would just interface with those ideas for what they are. But my God, you put a screwdriver in my hand, I get defensive about it.
Okay. So I have wondered if this was just a me thing. Or if most people are like this. I don't like when people I don't like nobody likes to feel stupid, but when there are things I know I need to do and
Mhm.
somebody points them out, it almost makes me feel stupid sometimes because I already know. Like
Yes.
I'm aware of
Yes.
it. And it's
Yes.
this almost this idea that they think I'm incompetent, although they're not saying that at all
Right.
whatsoever. Do you think that's most people, or do you think it's just some people? I mean,
I know it is 100% of the people on this podcast, and we are not representative of all humans, but there's got to be that because I feel like what's more interesting to me is what is the root of that? It's like
yes.
embarrassment, self-loathing. There's those kinds of things that I think, frankly, are not biblical. They're not what God wants us to think about ourselves. And so when we carry those things around and that becomes our identity, that's not a healthy place to
Well,
be.
that's the ding 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 right there. I think you said it for me. I already beat myself up enough. I don't need somebody else to help me do that. And I think
Yes.
that's it. Like the stuff you're calling out, I already know.
Yeah.
When you call it out, it shows me that you see the cracks and the ugliness and the things that I don't do right. And I try really hard not to show that. And so if I'm in a situation where I'm uncomfortable or I can't use the screwdriver or what, I don't want anybody to know that. I will not put myself in a position, not that I won't try new things because I do, but I will prep. You will know if I don't know how to do it because I will make it clear. I will not pretend that I'm the best at something. You know what I mean?
I will say this. I think there are people who are more comfortable with that vulnerability. Again, I don't think anybody like jumps into it and loves it, but I think there are more people who are out there who are like comfortable being uncomfortable. And I don't know what that says about me and you that we
Yeah.
can't show our cracks. I think that's probably most people can't show our cracks, don't want to show weakness, but there's some people that you know what I mean? They're just more at home with that. And I don't know,
Yeah.
maybe that's worth pursuing because I- it just strikes me as super mature, the people who are like that. They're
Yeah.
just
And
able to kind of giggle about it and go on. And meanwhile, I'm trying to like dig a hole into the earth to hide. You know what I'm saying?
what's funny is I feel like a lot of things I'm really comfortable with being vulnerable with,
Yeah.
but I think it's the stuff that I'm in control of. I'm in control of
Mm,
presenting this
that's good.
vulnerability,
That's good.
but when I'm not, or whenever someone sees something I don't want them to see, it really is. It's like I want to dig a hole in the earth and just crawl in there, or I want to rip the person's eyeballs out because like I
Yes.
know this. Why are you telling me this?
It's the worst self-conscious stuff on the planet. It's terrible.
It. Oh my gosh, it's absolutely horrible. So I want us to go ahead and talk about our resolutions for this next year, and I put
Okay.
on our list 3 to 5. I have a lot of trouble fitting mine into 3 to 5.
Really?
Yeah, go figure. But I'm trying to do what I've read in the past, and I is take these bigger concepts, and then I can break things
Yeah,
out
that's good.
of
Hmm.
that bigger concept.
Hmm.
So I'm gonna let you start first, though.
Okay. Wonderful. Are we also actually going to give each other a resolution?
Do you have one for me?
Oh, this is going to be spicy. Yeah, I'm ready. We can do that
Okay,
later.
okay, okay.
But okay, so I've got three. All right, and one of them is a continuation, and that is so I don't have anything like super incredible to say about this, but I need to finish off praying out loud. I just need to do it. I just need to
Yeah.
push myself the extra way. I may have to, you know how I have to operate. Just tell myself I'm an idiot. I may have to tell myself like you're not actually praying unless you're praying out loud. I know that's crazy and I know that's too far, but that may just be what I have to do. But this is really something I feel like I want to drill down on. So I really need to do that. So that's one. Number two is I'm going to go to the gym 5 days a week, every week,
Nice.
except if we're traveling. And I've been pretty disciplined as far as exercise goes, but this going to a gym outside my home is kind of a new thing for me. So I just want to make sure and continue the motivation and getting up and getting there. I have to shower there. It's like a weirder, different
It's a whole
experience.
thing.
It is, but and I'm sure this is all connected back to this. My 40s were, or his 40s were the time my dad started having health problems. And that doesn't mean that I will, but I want to try to maximize the time that I have here with my family, my kids, all the things. So that's number two. So I want to do that 5 days a week. And finally, thirdly, I need to pick back up on writing. And this kind of dovetails into the I need to work on the handwriting thing because it looks like a 6-year-old is, writing in my journal. But I have kind of let that drop and falter because it's kind of lost its spot in my day. But I think I'm more self-aware when I am doing that and when I'm thinking about how I'm processing things and the way I'm reacting to things and what I'm thinking about over and over in my head. And I think self-awareness is incredibly important and something I'm kind of weak at generally. So I need to get a time back in my day and slot it back in that I need to journal again.
I have two questions for you.
Mhm.
The first one is, how old was your dad when he passed away?
47.
Okay. I know that, and I hope my dad listens. Hopefully he doesn't care. But I know that when it got close to that time when my grandma passed, it was hard for him to have that idea of being in that same age, or surpassing the age that she was. Do you feel that way?
Oh, for sure. I mean, my dad had one of his kidneys removed when I was in eighth grade, and he was 43 years old.
Wow.
So, it's just right around here. I have no issues whatsoever at all with that kind of stuff. And again, it doesn't mean it's hereditary, but it just is, I don't know. So that's always going to impact me. So I'm just
Mm.
kind of conscious of it.
Yeah, that's interesting. The second thing is, when you talk
Mm.
about writing, are you
hmm
talking about like creative writing or journaling?
No, 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 I'm sorry. Yes, journaling is just kind of a this is one thing I have not decided yet, and maybe you can nudge me in a direction here. I think it's probably going to be about like a summary of my day, what I'm feeling. I need some type of, I'm always looking to standardize an experience. I need some type of rubric to kind of respond to on a daily basis. These three things, boom, 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 here's what I'm going to hit.
Let me tell you what I recently did. Chat
Okay.
GPT. I put
Mm,
in, so I start, this is making me journal now. And
okay.
again, I miss 1 or 2 days here and there, but I put into Chat GPT or do a gratitude first. So I do my gratitude, one thing I'm thankful for.
Okay.
And I try to be super specific. And then I had Chat GPT put in prompts from, I started at the beginning of December, but from December 1st all the way through the end of 2026. And it's just, I had like reflection prompts. So like, this may seem silly, but on Christmas, it was something like, what was something magical from today? They're not all lame like that. I actually liked that one, but
That's not
you know,
lame.
whatever. But I mean, they're good prompts that they're
Okay.
asking me.
That's
So
good. I will go do that.
I would try that for sure.
You do that weekly or you do that daily?
I do it daily. Now,
Okay.
again, there are days that I miss, but like this one, what am I deeply grateful for today? What drained me today? Those
Hmm.
are for different days. What felt magical was from
That's
Christmas.
good. That's real
Yeah.
good. That's good.
And it just put it all together, which I know. I mean, I know you know how to use Chat
Well,
GPT.
I know, I know, I know. I'm super like that. I'm always trying to standardize something like get it set and then
Yes.
I'll do it. But there's something about the fact that it's not set. And this is not just about journaling. This is about anything in my life. If something's not set, it's like so much more exhausting to me
Yes.
to have to deal with it. So I like a routine. I like a rhythm. I like that. But there's probably times I need to break out of that sometimes. So
I
again, I
think
don't want
more,
to get trapped in that, but I think this is good. That
yeah.
yeah.
I think more people would benefit from that. I know I do better with that, but sometimes I like have to crawl to get there for some reason to set the structure. I'm like, oh my
hmm
gosh, this is so much. It's like if you just do the structural work, you know you'll do it. It's no
Yeah.
issue. When I have the journal prompts, I'm almost excited to do it. But sometimes getting to that part, it's like
Sure.
awful for some crazy reason.
So that's where I'm at. Let's hear your 57 resolutions for 2026.
So I do, let me just tell you, I have a work one, a spiritual one, a youth one, a personal one.
Ooh,
But I tried to
that's
take
good.
from those. So my
Yeah,
work ones, I'm just going to stay away from for right now.
sure.
Spiritual, the big one that I want to do this year is I want to read the Bible all the way through in a year. I have read
Okay.
the Bible all the way through. I pull out pieces and read, but I have never done the Bible in 1 year.
Okay. All right. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a great one.
So I'm very excited for that. So I'm that's my first one. It's
I'm on like time
doable.
number 20 of
I
that. That will
know. I'm
really
like,
deepen your, yeah. And it doesn't take long. It's like five to
no,
7 minutes. It really
I
is.
know. Well, and I tried it as a teenager and it felt like pulling teeth, which I know
Yeah,
is
sure.
silly, but it was easier for me at that point to read one chapter as opposed to try to
Yeah,
I wasn't
sure.
disciplined enough to do it.
Sure.
My the goals for the youth group, be intentional with the youth group. That is the head part of that. But underneath that falls, this last year I wanted 10 baptisms. This year we're pushing for 15.
Okay.
I want to create more spaces for student connection, and I want to start creating the curriculum 2 months out. That way, like for example, the message you sent me that I'm going to put through,
hmm
that's for
hmm
March. That's what I'm going to be working on.
Okay. I like that.
So youth is be intentional with the youth group. And then personal, I have to leave 15 minutes before I'm supposed to. So if the drive is an hour, I need a plan to leave an hour and 15 minutes early. That has to be a non-negotiable for me. Um, so another one is I took a while to figure out how to word this one. I want to address it. I want to address an issue, either address it, forget it, and then let it go. And I want that to be kind of my motto because I have trouble with lingering on things, and then I kind of ruminate. And some of that truly is like my mind, I just struggle with that in general. But I will ruminate on the same problem for months and months and months. And if I'm not going to address it, then I need to forget it. And
That's a great
ultimately
one.
it has to be let go.
Yeah.
So that's my other one. And then I want to have two more.
Oh, please.
I want to set a boundary with church work. And what that means is uh right now I'll come home and I may come home and hang out for an hour and then start church work at 8 or 8:30. And so there's never really, or I'll start it at 5 and work until 8:30. And so my work at work, my true work, I never bring that home. There's a clear separation. And so I feel what this
Hmm.
a lack of boundary with church work, what it does to me is my brain is never shutting off and it keeps me in this loop that is not healthy. So in order to do that, I'm going to have structured time every day. Like last year, I think I had like structured time once a week where you work on church work. No, even if it's 20 to 30 minutes every day that I come home and work on it, that's my time. Maybe some days it'll be an hour, but it has to shut off
I
at
like
some
that.
point.
Sure. I like that.
And then last one is prioritizing sleep. So I want to be in bed by 9:30 every night. Some nights it's 9, some nights it's 12. And getting up to work out in the morning, it's just not feasible to keep staying up as late as I do or to be as inconsistent as it is. So those are my broad resolutions for this year. I really want to make an effort to revisit these more often.
Okay.
Sometimes I'll do them in June, but that's not enough to me. I think I need to revisit them more
Yeah,
often
the
than I
check-in
do.
is really important because it just gives you the opportunity to evaluate where am I at? Is this working? Is this not working? Do I need to change something? That's
Yeah.
incredibly important. Yeah.
Okay.
All right,
What's your
what's
goal
yours for
for
me?
me?
No, no,
No,
I'm scared. You
no,
go first.
no. You got to go first.
Okay. All right. I'm going to keep this broad so that you
Okay.
can fill in the gaps in your own life and decide it. This I think a resolution for you should be for you to take a look at all the responsibilities that you have in your life. Figure out one to drop and drop it.
Funny. My husband said that to me too. I was trying to take on something else. He's like, no,
Well,
before you do that,
in the words of two or three witnesses, let it be established. Here's the
I'm
thing,
writing
though.
this
I'm
down.
not talking about something new. I'm talking about something you do, you dearly love, something that's important to you, and drop it.
I mean, you are so right. You're so right. It's insane that,
Well,
I mean,
come on. I know you. Whatever you give me is going to be right down the central of course. Yeah.
well, what I'm kind of mad about is what I gave you is the one that you've already reset for yourself. So I went back.
Oh,
I know. So I went back. I mean, I have it highlighted right there. Um, it's to make time less valuable, but I think that encompasses a lot of what you've said. I think you and I are opposites in this area where I spend too much time and where I sometimes it can be really good. Like I'm really
yep.
good about giving that person that I'm talking to my full attention, but that interrupts a lot of things at times because I never know when to shut it off, and I'll keep going and go to the detriment of other people. And you're the opposite of that, where you are so good at keeping things moving and going. But like you said, I think that just slowing down a little bit and being in the moment um, would be beneficial. So I didn't make that as a cop out. I didn't think you'd have that one again this year. I just felt like it encompassed everything that I think that you should look at again this year. Not bad stuff, just ways to
No, right.
um,
I mean, yours isn't either. It's not like I'm saying something terrible about you. It's just, we both know each other well, and so this is where we need to be. So here's since you kind of lamed out on your resolution for me, then this is what I
I
want you
did
to do.
not know you were going to put it like that.
Once a month, I want you to tell me how you feel like I'm doing,
Okay.
and I'll
Okay.
remind you because you're
Okay.
around me enough and you see me enough. You'll be able to have some sense. And if I think you're wrong, that'll be an interesting side conversation about why you think it and why I think it, and that'll be good.
Okay. So then how I can already, let me say this.
Mm.
I can tell you what I'm working on letting go, but having a lot of trouble doing. Like in the month of January, someone else is doing a certain responsibility that I would typically be in charge of.
Okay.
Um,
We can do this off podcast, but yeah, you'll have to. Yours won't require multiple check-ins, except when you tell me the thing, I'll be like, "It's April and you're still doing that." I'm like, "Okay, well, it's
and I'll
time,
have some
girl."
sort of excuse that's like,
Yeah,
well, I just blah, 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 blah.
but we're good people for each other to apply the right kind of friendly pressure, and sometimes that's really important for people to hear out there. I think if you have people that you trust to share your resolutions or things that you want to work on to share them with. That is such a powerful tool to help you with this because then it's not just your accountability, it's somebody
Yeah.
that you love and respect and trust also holding you accountable. That could be probably more powerful than your own accountability.
And it's a safe place to talk about it. It's
It
a safe
is.
place to say this is the struggle or
Why is
this
this not
is.
working? What's happening with me? Yes, absolutely.
And so, for our listeners, as you go into this new year, we encourage you to look at your life and ask yourself, what do you want to take with you this year? What do
Mm,
you want to leave behind? Are there pieces of you that don't line up? And there are. I mean, if we're honest, all of us have those pieces that don't line up with the full life that God intends for us. So, what do I need to change? And then how am I going to go about that? Try not to look at these massive things that need to change, but look at the small 1% thing that you can change. And honestly, if you need help with that, or you would like us to look at it and message you back, we would love to do that.
would
It's
love
clear
to.
we love to talk. So we would be more than willing and more than happy to do that. We are super grateful for every listener that we have today. We always enjoy going beyond Sundays, and we hope that you also enjoyed this conversation. If you have thoughts, if you have comments, if you have anything that you would like to say, any ideas, please reach out to us. Go to beyondsundays.pod.com for our show links and socials. And until next time, in this year, may the Lord bless you and keep you.